All right, guys, what's up? This is Connor Ferguson here with the gang. Josh Olmstead, Noah Nelson, Caleb Sluha. Hope I got it right that time, Caleb. Sorry. Sluha?
Sluha.
I'm just going to keep switching.
Do this every week.
It's okay. All right, let's get to it. Real quick before we get into everything today, we're going to talk the start of IndyCar Silly season. A lot of stuff that was rumored to come out today, a lot of stuff that didn't come out today. And where those rumors are kind of heading with those guys. Chase Briscoe dominates for his second Southern 500 win. Everyone else is buffering on my screen, which is scary. So hopefully y'all can still hear me.
Yep.
And also, got to say that we are presented today by Chris Weiser and the fine folks at the Weiser companies. Lots of really cool stuff coming in the future with those, and I can't wait to show you guys what we have to brag about from our sponsors. So, no, what are you pointing at?
He pointed the wrong way. He pointed the wrong way.
Oh yeah, no, that way.
Okay, well, I pointed to where it is on my screen, so
it's very clearly in the bottom of the screen. Everyone sees it the whole time. It's all good. Anyway, let's hop in.
Let's get to where it was for me.
I was trying to let him get through the bit. Oh man!
But yeah,
once we get the product, then we'll have to do the bits again, like we did for the auto company that was before him. We'll bring those back. We'll do what we can. But let's hop into everything. Caleb, I leave this up to Caleb, just so I don't cuss in the first 5 minutes.
Caleb's running the IndyCar sector.
Josef Newgarden wins the IndyCar finale. That's pretty good for an old retiree.
There it is.
All right, we're leading him on. I should remind everyone, comment any questions, comments you have about whatever. We'll talk about them. We're going to do the Dirt Show tomorrow night, previewing the World 100 and the Tuscarora 50 coming up this weekend. So excited about that. But we can talk Newgarden first if you want. If that's where you want to go.
Yeah. I mean, essentially what that's rooted in is there's a rumor a couple weeks ago that we were all going to be surprised at a IndyCar driver that was going to be retiring. Immediate speculation, of course, Newgarden came up. And then in kind of the silly season that has started today, Will Buxton made the tweet that said that the paddock is of the understanding that the 2-car will be open in 2027, that of course being Newgarden's car. So that kind of, it leans a little bit more towards the 2-time Indy 500 champion, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it leans towards him. I would say it leans towards him retiring because I don't see Penske getting rid of him. But I also say that on the heels of the news that Will Power won't race for Penske next year, and he was one race from winning, the only guy to win for their team this season. So it still doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, and had 3 wins last year. And as much as the statement said that Will and Penske separated, we all know that's not true. So
it was framed as if Will decided to leave, which I thought was funny.
He made it very clear.
Who do they think they're feeling? Who do they think they're fooling is what I don't get when they put out they have these drivers do this. Like, you're not even saving face, Penske. Like, it's very clear that you guys wanted him out to make room for what's assumed to be and pretty almost clearly going to be David Malukas, which, that's the move they made, whatever. I don't see what face they're trying to save because it doesn't look better either way.
No, because they also made, I think Will Power made it pretty clear in his interview after his win that he did not want that. I think he ripped Penske enough to know.
I want to know what the harm is in just saying we enjoyed a great 17 years together and we wish each other the best in the future. Why the public relations charade all of a sudden,
No, I think it's just to calm the roaring of oh, why are you getting rid of him when he's still doing this and this and this for you, which is understandable. It's a tough deal. I mean, it sounds like they're essentially wanting to build for the long run future.
They are like one of the oldest teams in the series too.
Yeah, I mean, and it's unfortunate. I mean, you got a guy, and let's be honest, it's not the first time we've seen something kind of like this from Penske. Juan Montoya, Elio Castroneves, they were all pretty rooted in the Team Penske IndyCar team, and Juan Montoya got shipped to Australia, I think, for the supercars, and Elio got the boot. So it's kind of what we've seen from Penske, unfortunately. And business-wise, it makes sense, but at what cost?
I don't know. I feel like, as far, you mentioned building for the future. I think their future's pretty secure. Roger owns IndyCar.
Well, okay. We all know what I meant by what I said.
No, I get it. And McLaughlin's not going anywhere. And, you kind of had, it's kind of musical chairs. And the weird thing with this Newgarden situation with, him unfollowing everyone on social media and having the worst season he's ever had and everything about how he handled media this year. Like, it just felt like a mentally different Josef Newgarden. I'm not trying to put thoughts in his head or anyone else's, but, kids growing up, does he want to do that? Does he want to not race full time anymore? Does he want to just race for fun or do whatever? And you have Rinus VeeKay, as Buxton mentioned in that tweet, waiting in the wings. And if you guys have listened to this show ever, I'm probably the number one vocalist of Rinus makes slow cars go fast. And I can't see what's happened. Can't wait to see what happens when he gets put in a car with some speed.
Yeah, so our good friend Nick Yeoman kind of alluded to the fact that Rinus VeeKay might be filling in the 4 car, which would be where Malukas is right now, AJ Foyt Racing, and they, of course, have that alliance with Team Penske. So, yeah, that was the other part of Buxton's tweet was VeeKay leaving his team could go to Foyt next year and then take over for Newgarden, which, again, I mean, if Penske's sitting there playing with his little figurines, he's lining everything up to have, solid drivers down the line. So,
you guys remember that time that David Malukas dislocated his wrist and when he had a McLaren ride, and then he lost the McLaren ride, and now he's going to replace Will Power at Penske? What a weird sequence of events for that to happen.
I'll never forgive Arrow McLaren for that.
Yeah, they also have a habit of ditching some talented drivers preemptively. But yeah, and Malukas got a free helicopter ride this weekend. Glad to see that he is okay. Well, it was probably not free, I guess. It's probably thousands of.
We don't need to get into the American healthcare system on the air right now.
That conversation on social media has been very strong from both sides as far as the fans go. And listen, Malukas did not give him any room when he came down in the corner, but I don't know what Foster was doing blocking like that entering the corner. And, as a lap car, Noah, what do you say?
Lap cars have no rights, Caleb.
But I just, unfortunately, there's been several times this season that we've seen Foster be a problem in a really bad way, especially for the leaders. And something is going to have to be figured out about that because, I mean, like we saw, it ended up causing a pretty nasty accident this week, and caused a nasty accident for Newgarden also. So that one a little less his fault, I'll give him the benefit on that one, but they definitely got to figure Foster out on that.
Well, and I'll say good on Malukas too for being able to go on Twitter in the last couple of days, and like, yeah, it was just hard racing, like it wasn't like he wasn't holding on to anything, at least publicly. And so, good on him for that.
Louis Foster, the Ryan Newman of IndyCar.
Here's the thing.
No, Ryan Newman flipped his own cars.
Freaking, yeah, Newman flipped his own cars, not other people's cars.
Sorry, I'm at my parents' house still. I still can't walk, so Julie just got back with food, and I was trying to prevent her walking in with whatever we got for dinner here.
But what did we get for dinner here?
Probably McDonald's.
I
think it's
I
McDonald's.
hear you.
What's it smell like?
Yeah, I got a pretty good sniff around me. No, I'm pretty sure it's McDonald's. But no, I'm excited to see Malukas get in a Penske. I think I saw a tweet from someone that got his autograph on a Penske hat at the beginning of the season and said it was for the future. I thought that was hilarious. I was trying to look for her username and I couldn't find it.
I did. I can't corroborate. I saw that tweet today.
Yeah, no, I think sent it, so we'll have to pull that up. But
hold on, I got it. It's B2B Garden. So it's another Newgarden fan, but definitely some weird musical chairs going on. Are we good on that team? Can we move to where we think Power is headed?
I was gonna say there's the leading into, I guess, the rumors to be of Will Power's landing spot.
Yeah, so Racer is reporting that it is, and Marshall Pruitt is his name over at Racer. Super phenomenal guy. Learn stuff every time you read his work, and especially like how he frames articles and stuff. Never makes me too long. But Herta is supposedly out at Andretti, and Will Power would end up in the.
I wouldn't say he's out. He's doing something he's been wanting to do for the literal longest time.
The F1 thing.
Yes.
But it's not F1.
No.
It's F2.
Correct.
The sequel.
Yeah. No, it's not even the F1.
Yeah, he's got to start somewhere.
Well,
no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
For them, he does.
For them, he does.
Yeah. Well, and I'm guessing he probably does not have enough to get a super license right now. So
it's just because how they structure their stuff, which is
listen, man. Their game, their ball. That's how it is. And if that's what he wants to do.
Stop making race cars stick in ball sports.
Their game, their ball.
I'm fine with the cliche. You can't make me cheer for him.
I mean, that's fine.
Not Herta, by the way. I'm talking about F1, F2.
Oh, well, yeah.
I will be. What sucks is now I'll have to watch every fucking F2 race just to see how Colton Herta does. It's going to be like when I watched cheering for Jeff Gordon back in the day, and I hated everybody else.
Hey, random attack, incoming alert. He's probably going to do better in F2 than Haley Deegan in Indy Next. So
that bar is so. Why even? You didn't even need to brand up, Caleb. How do we end up shitting on somebody every freaking episode?
Listen.
How did we get there?
I warned you.
Yeah,
we were going from point A to point B, and we were going to point A to point B, and we arrived at point E.
We're not on a tape delay, Caleb. We can't just stop you if you say, "Hold on, guys, I'm going to warn you. I'm going to say something controversial," and then go from there.
We need a little siren that goes off before I'm about to shit on bitches.
Of the last 6 Formula 2 drivers that have won the Drivers' Championship, 4 of them didn't make a single Formula 1 start. And one of those 2 that did was Mick Schumacher, who only did it because his dad was buddies with a very high political power.
And his last name
I've heard very nice things of, by the way. Super nice guy, that dude over there in Russia.
I was going to say, actually, most of the guys that do well in F2 but then don't make it to F1, they end up in IndyCar. So.
I think
none of those. It's like Theo Pourchaire did. The other 3.
I think it's a prime chance for him, though. I mean, you have potentially you have Hamilton, Alonso, Hulkenberg, probably on their way out, and of course you have the unicorn cycle of rookies that funnel the way in and out of seats in F1. So
if I'm Formula One and I see the IndyCar guy come in and kick ass in F2, I'm going to try to tell my teams to not give him a spot, just like they tried to tell teams not to give him a spot for when Andretti wanted to come in, and they somehow forced their hand with it, however behind the scenes they figured out how to do that. But I wouldn't be shocked at all if they tried to keep him out.
Well, and I mean, ultimately, the setup is that he's eventually going to go to Cadillac. So, I mean, we kind of have this deal where he's assumed to already be going to
McDonald's, by the way.
Thank you, Connor. Very cool.
Yeah, I got you. No problem.
So, I mean, it very much could be where, they're kind of just prepping a seat for him with the new Cadillac team.
Yeah, you're absolutely right with that.
Thank you.
Again, the big negative is I have to watch all these races now.
Yeah.
When do F2 races go on? Will I have to wake up at 5 o'clock instead of 7?
probably.
Well, I mean, you have to wake up at whatever time they're on, which is
well, and then you're gonna have to hit F12 to full screen it when you watch it too, and so there's just a whole lot of F numbers going on.
Okay.
I'm laughing way too hard at that.
Yeah, you are.
I'll cross the bridge when I have to. I guess I'll swallow the pride a little bit and support Colton because fun guy, cool guy. Definitely some better drivers in IndyCar, but certainly one I'm confident in doing well in it as long as they can set him up with something good. And
he's going to be in the worst F2 team possible.
That's probably, that's how they keep him out is I don't even know which one it would be. I got that video game and I started driving for some and I couldn't even identify which one was supposed to be the worst, which is quite hilarious for modern day video games and everything. Too many wrinkles in that. I would have been ranting for 30 minutes. Do we have anything else on IndyCar Silly season stuff? Oh, I do. Sorry. I'll speak up and interrupt myself.
Fire away.
Connor Daly's dad is tweeting like his deal isn't done for next year. And I got to ask Junkos Hollinger, if you're listening, what the fuck do you need to see out of Connor Daly to sign him again? My God. 24th to top 5.
And
what do you need to see?
And potentially consistently 15 to 20 spots better than his teammate every week.
Yes. Yeah. Him and Rinus both outraced their teammates by quite a large margin. I think they would sign Connor again. His dad was posting highlights yesterday on Twitter as if the deal is not close to done. So
ridiculous.
It'll be an interesting winner for sure.
I guess if his dad is commenting, I was going to say maybe Daly's got some other irons in the fire, but you heard it here first. Daly to the 4-car.
That's where they want to send Rinus.
Well.
Don't do.
Rinus can take over the 15.
There's going to be one person that watches. You're just making their head hurt now.
Making my head hurt.
Yeah, that's all I got for IndyCar.
I am excited for it. Sounds like all 27 cars are sticking around, unless something changes. But 25, 27, whatever it ends up being, is a great number for them. So next year should be fun. Got all that talked about. Should we go to Chase Briscoe?
Yes.
Okay.
Do we have him here in the studio?
I wish we did. No, that's the teardown got him. I listened to half that today. He's very good, very fun guy. And thankfully, we talked to him at Knoxville. He says NASCAR should always have a dirt race on the schedule. So, Caleb, sorry.
But why are you apologizing to me?
You hate super speedways. You hate fun. I just figured you hate dirt tracks.
Super speedways and
fun, please. Fun, please.
Wait a minute. No, I want a 3-mile dirt super speedway.
That's just stupid.
I'm gonna name it.
Who's building that?
Who's building that? Me. Give me the investors. I need it.
I would not let you build a set of Legos, Chief.
Hey, I was building a lot of Legos at 13, and I was quite good at it.
No,
turn out like this.
I agree. I agree with Chase Briscoe. I think, but here's the thing. I think Bristol dirt, stupid. They need to go to an actual dirt track.
It only works if they let the dirt track prep the dirt track how a dirt track's supposed to be prepped. So
go to
if
Eldora.
NASCAR wants to come to Knoxville and not push around the best track crew in the nation, that'd be great.
That too.
You guys can read between the lines anywhere you want on that.
Go to an actual dirt track that has been built for dirt track racing, because it's not as simple as just throwing dirt down. And I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, and you need to go to an actual dirt track and let the dirt guys
do dirt guy things.
Take a shot every time you hear somebody say the word dirt.
Yeah.
Dirt.
You can't ruin the game like that.
But I mean,
natural dirt.
I agree. And I bring this up all the time, but ARCA has one of the most diverse schedules. They've got at least two, I think it's two dirt tracks on their schedule. And again, I mean, you get that crossover of dirt guys that come. We've seen Jonathan Davenport. We've seen Bobby Pierce. That Kyle Larson guy ran both.
Marlar.
Just the order that you wanted that. Yeah, Mike Marlar, Kyle Strickler, both did it. Ryan Vargas went and ran. Also, Donnie Schatz. I could.
Price, in the trucks. Yep.
Bloomquist ran
Ryan
a truck
Vargas,
one time.
Yeah, Ryan Vargas went and ran that ARCA race. That was on Sunday during the.
Yeah, you've got a guy.
The other thing about the dirt ARCA races, they're always right smack dab in the middle of another big race going on, and I don't get it.
What a weird time on a Sunday, a 4 p.m. Sunday race.
It's just like, man, can you guys please figure it out?
But yeah, I mean, it's if you want the overall best stock car racers in the United States, they should have to do well on dirt. I'm a proponent that there should probably be two dirt tracks on the schedule, just to beef that part of it up a little bit. But I mean, start with one and get those audiences crossed over. I mean, how many dirt fans that don't typically watch NASCAR do you think tuned in when Davenport came and ran?
There's quite a few like that. That was all that was talked about for the 2 weeks leading up to when he made that start. Is there was, I think Kyle McFadden was he went to Bristol just to cover Jonathan. My buddy Shane Golobic was in that race. We talked to him a ton about what he did there. And I don't know. I wish we had it. Let's talk something.
Don't do it on a temporary dirt track. It's stupid.
I was waiting for him to talk about during that entire segment that he was going to talk about having two dirt races and replacing one with super speedway with a dirt race.
Oh, man.
I was waiting for it.
Not even.
Get rid of both Atlanta races. Actually,
it's fun.
Actually, I'll give you this. Atlanta is somewhat decent, so get rid of one Talladega and one Daytona.
Screw that. Kansas has a race sitting right there. Take that one.
Okay, you Kansas hater.
Sorry.
Boo.
Hey, don't come after my track. I won't come after yours. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple.
But
they did much more. They went for a kill shot on my track. All I'm saying is mean words about them on a podcast.
Yeah, well, your track is also breathing on an oxygen right now, ventilator type.
There's a lot that goes into that. Maybe we'll cover it in the off season. But you're right.
But anywho, get rid of one Daytona, one Talladega, replace it with one Knoxville and one Eldora.
They will never get rid of Daytona and Talladega, and they shouldn't. Very fun off the track atmospheres. Chase Briscoe dominated that race. There was times where he was 0.4 faster than the rest of the field. It was dare I say it, echoed what Ryan Timms did at Knoxville during Nationals. There is some people that thought there's a lot of air blocking in the final 30 laps. I thought Briscoe's car was just that fast. I thought Reddick was lucky to get up there. And I thought Reddick made a move one lap too early, and I thought he would have had him if he waited one more lap.
I thought
first
Eric
off,
Jones had the fastest car.
There's no some people. There's a lot of aero blocking. That's just this-
Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying there was zero. Please don't take it as that.
No,
Yeah,
it was a lot. I
apologies.
mean, I'm gonna make the claim there was aero blocking and
Yeah.
a lot of it, and that's just this car. I mean, just sitting on the couch watching, Briscoe was obviously very fast. I think the guys behind him in the coming laps or in the laps before the checkered, I think they were faster.
They kept the car the same while everyone else made their changes.
It's but here's the thing. We got to remember too, like Briscoe, it's not his first time winning Darlington, and so he's very good there. And yeah, I think Reddick, right at the end, I think he made his move just a little early, and I think that the handling of his car was just starting to go away at that point. So I think Kids was a struggle, and I think Jones just didn't have anywhere to go. Too much dirty air in front of him. I would love to know what makes Eric Jones go at Darlington. It's like he gets an extra
They said they took his setup from 2022, translated it to this car, and then they passed it along to John Hunter.
Yeah, and that was the other thing too.
With 40 to go, if that caution doesn't come out, hot take, I think John Hunter wins that race. He had him dead to rights right before that.
He's not going to win, but I mean, they would have had both cars in the top 5. Absolutely. I mean,
they were. They did.
Well, I know, but I mean, what my point was that I don't think anybody was going to get up there and pass those guys. And that's just a tribute of the aero and, where we're at. But yeah, I mean, Briscoe put on a clinic, and I mean, he's showing why he was brought to JGR.
Something about the patriotic 19 cars just absolutely going off at a 1.5-mile track.
We just bring Noah on here for one-liners.
But
that's fine. People like watching the show and seeing Josh in the background. Just they talk, and he's it's the shadowy figure.
I progressively just
the shadow registered trademark.
Nothing will beat earlier when Noah just all of a sudden just goes.
I can explain, okay?
I got pride, or at least when I'm doing it, you know what I'm doing.
My cat walked and unplugged my phone from my charger, and my phone was about to die, and I really wanted it on the charger. So I had to go fix that.
But my small take from the race was, as granted, yes, there's the aero blocking, there's a dominating winner, but I feel like that was one of the better dominating performances that were still entertaining, where it wasn't like Martin Truex Jr. in the Coke 600 leading 400 and something laps that made me want to go to bed.
Not even that the race is 400 laps.
Whatever, yeah.
It was, it was lackluster for a crown jewel or a major, but there's enough there that it lived up to what it needed to.
Well, I think we need to get used to, sometimes the crown jewel is just gonna have that. I mean, Connor already brought up tonight, look at the crown jewel of all crown jewels, which is Knoxville Nationals. The last 3-4 years,
three have been led by the same guy the whole time. It's
been domination, but it's still, it's still, you just look back and you're like, damn, that was a strong, amazing performance. Sometimes it's just going to be like that. We obviously
yes, and you have to have average races to have the electric bang bangs.
Yeah, and it's just, you can look at what Briscoe did, and what you have to count for is, okay, one guy can dominate the entire race, but as long as there's passing going on throughout the field, then that helps things. So as long as there's the passing and stuff, now that's one thing that we have lacking. And I forget who, somebody had even tweeted it, and during the race, it was like a Jeff Gluck or something, but they were like, oh, these guys that get behind on track position, just can't make up ground. And that's the thing we have to fix.
Yeah, so speaking of those guys, that was Hendrick Motorsports. Terrible race for Hendrick. Yeah, just nothing else you can say about that. I think Chase Elliott called it a top last. He said we battled for a top last finish. Couldn't think of like top 20. He didn't know where he finished. That's essentially the thing because they were so bad.
Alex Bowman got out of the car, said this is embarrassing.
Yeah, that
40-second pit stop.
I've not
embarrassing.
I mean, I was astonished at how unprepared Bowman's team was on that pit stop.
Well, the thing got unplugged. You know what are you?
And here's the thing:
check every time, I guess. But
it's
when did it get unplugged?
It was more than just that. In the fact of like those guys are so used to like if A goes wrong, we go to B. If B goes wrong, we go to C. If C goes wrong, like they are ready for everything. And you could just see it all just fell apart.
Joey Logano's pit crew was more prepared for fixing Brad's tire than Alex Bowman's crew was for their own car.
Which that is a great video, by the way. That is like literally the dude like taps him on the shoulder and like puts his helmet on him.
Yeah, puts it on for him.
Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty good. But it was literally like plan A broke and it just that was it. Like there was no other plan. There was no communication. There was no like it all just broke down. And that's something that we typically don't see from Hendrick.
Where that pit stop really fell apart wasn't when the rear gun got unplugged. It was when they were trying to figure out what to do after, right? So, you know, a lot of people were, I think I even saw it on TV, like just have the front tire changer go around with his gun and secure that. And then, you know, we'll focus on the left side when we get there. But the problem was they started that part even too late. And so they dropped the jack and the right fronts on the hose for the front tire changer now. And then they have to go jack the other side of the car back up again. And so they turned what was likely a 20-second bad pit stop into a 40-second bad pit stop. And so that's why you finish in the 30s.
And they're sitting there trying to yank the hose out from however heavy these cars are. Like, you're not going to get that hose out from under the tire.
They got back to the lead lap eventually, and they still had absolutely zero speed, which, I mean, man, like there's got to be cause of concern for Hendrick. Larson went from 13th to 20th, wherever he ended up on the last stint. Elliott, probably, 17th?
I think Larson had a hole in his right front from hitting Allmendinger on that restart. I think that's what dropped him because, you know, Bell and Blaney also had right front issues and they could not get back through the field. Although Blaney was participating in Murphy's Law Sunday because every time something happened to the 12 team, it was bad.
So that a lot of stuff to work on for Hendrick. Bad day. Leaves Bowman 19 points out, tied with Josh Berry, who went out on the first lap and ended at 124 laps down. Austin Dillon's -8, Joey Logano's -3, and then SVG is right there, 3 points to the good. Elliott 9 points to the good. Christopher Bell 11, Cindric 12, Ross Chastain 21, Blaney 22. I mean, I could go up higher than that, but you get the point.
Barry running the fastest lap was one of my favorite parts of the race towards the end.
I completely missed it. Whenever it happened, I completely missed it. I don't know how.
Yeah, it was when he came back from being in the garage. He was like
I knew he was out there. I just missed the lap that he ran.
Yeah, he was like right after laps down.
I needed Lee Diffie to piss himself and like maybe scream into the microphone.
That was what I was doing, actually.
He ran like a stupid fast lap. I think they put it in like a qualifying trim to try and get that.
He was 2 miles an hour faster than the next car.
Yeah, and they teched him just to make sure.
Well, and the thing with that car too, they were fast in the spring and then crashed. He had qualified third and then crashed. They also had a fast car anyway, but 2 mile an hour faster was crazy.
Well, being in clean air, I'm sure helped too. That he, I mean, essentially was just out by himself. But
Clean air's king.
that it is. You mentioned the standings with SVG and stuff. A lot of people had and have SVG out in the first round. I was a big proponent of saying no. I think he'll make it out of the first round and into the second. I personally think that their strategy kind of screwed them over on this one. I mean, he was running well. He was solid in the top 20, even like getting up into the top 15 part of it. And they decided to run long, and it just, I mean, I don't even know where he ended up finishing, but it was in the deep 20s. What was it?
I think he was
29th.
Okay, my fault. He was close to the 30s.
And it's just that was super unfortunate to see, because I feel like it doesn't do him justice for what he's been learning on the
32nd.
He was 32nd.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
He was. Well, I want to know what happened, because he was 29th with like 5 to go. But then I remember when the leaders passed him, he was tanking.
Well, in the defense of the strategy that they ran, 5 or 10 more laps is when Derek Krause's car decided to go supernova. So they had the right idea. They just didn't have the luck to go with it. And so I said this in my preview earlier this week. In case you missed it, that is still posted on the website, by the way. But I said he's out in the first round because I don't think that finishing in the teens at best is going to cut it. You have to get stage points if you're going to make it through these rounds. And if you can't get stage points, you're not going to advance.
I don't necessarily agree with that, just because of the sake of, in the first round, we've seen chaos for every single playoff driver. And realistically, he's not up in the mix enough.
Yeah, but if you're on 18
to have an issue
races, you're not doing anything.
I mean, they did mathematical where he just needed to finish 19th at all 3 races, and he advanced with 0 stage points.
Yeah, but
what in years past or what?
What?
Like in years past, or is that like a predictive model?
They did the math roughly based on like past events and stuff.
But I mean, but what an awful strategy! Like, you go through the very first round, the round of 16, where you're supposed to get rid of maybe some of the Cinderella stories that got a win here or there, got a fortunate break or whatever, and your response with a team that has 4 wins and banked a bunch of playoff points doing that is to say, well, if we finish 19th every race for the first 3, we can make it to the next round, and all we have to do is win the Roval and make the next round, and then just
that should be the outlook with one of the worst oval drivers in the series and one of the best road course racers. That should absolutely be your outlook if you're trying to advance in the playoffs. If you're not, and you're doing, hey, we just take it week by week, and if you say that and don't do that and like take it as the playoffs, I get it. But, if you're just looking at it week by week, like, okay, maybe you shouldn't be in this sport. Because you have the worst oval driver in the series, one of them. You have this cushion of playoff points. I'd expect you to be off strategy a little bit to try and make some magic happen.
Why are we talking about Cody Ware all of a sudden?
Do you want me to retract that and say third worst, or like, do I need to put up ratings?
Hey, Caleb, what's the shape of Italy?
I don't know that I'd call him the worst. Here's my thing.
Down there. The point of it is he's down there.
Okay.
I'm having fries. I'm getting pissed off.
So, but here's my thing. If you have the points that you've accumulated over the season, you've got a little bit of a buffer, and you're running in the top 15, top 20, why go off strategy?
You could say, I would even go as far as, you earned those stage points, so you have the right to have the buffer.
I feel like we're all mature enough to have this conversation without having to use the buzzwords. We're not. Okay, Caleb says we're not. That's fair. I feel like if you just ran a straight up race, he ends up 2 laps down.
Yes.
So
I feel like you
try
play
something.
to win the game.
If you hit on that strategy at any point in that entire race, if you hit on that strategy at all, because you're long pitting, you're waiting for a caution to come out while you're pitting, vice versa. If you hit on that at all,
if you do
that
this,
changes your race.
Yeah.
Especially if there's as many DNFs as we typically see in a Southern 500.
Exactly.
But I don't understand why the need to change the strategy.
Because you play to win the game.
You're slow when you're not.
He wasn't slow.
He was slow. Oh, come on.
You can't. He was running in the top 15. What
was his average running position?
Was the green flag out?
That's not
pit stops going on.
Okay.
I saw him up there. I totally get that.
But that's not during strategy and stuff. Like, he was solidly in the top 20. If you stay where you are, you beat all the Hendrick guys. Like,
I don't know about that.
Look how dog shit they were.
They just because they were bad doesn't mean he also wasn't bad. He was as bad as they were.
Okay,
that's an interesting case study. Who would win a 1,000-lap race between them? With
that's not the point.
No, that's not at all.
Like
that's a different thing.
We're playing the game. He was playing the game. He was in the top 20. Why would you move off of that? Because you were going to have a solid day and move on with your life. Why would you? The risk versus reward was just not there. Like, it made no sense to try and hit a tiny little window when it's now put you in 29th, 30th, whatever.
Yeah, but if you hit
and then you have to have the
Who
craziest.
fucking cares about hitting it? You were going to have a solid points day. You were going to have a solid points day over the Hendricks, the Berry, those guys. Take that and move on. Now, instead of being 20-some spots in front of Berry, he was 3. Why would you do that to yourself?
No, it was more like 6.
That's actually in front of Logano. He's 21 in front of Berry. It's math.
You guys are so stupid. It didn't make any sense. Now, if this was the last race before the round cutoff and SVG is, a couple points down or whatever, I understand the call.
Oh, I would go the opposite way if that was the case. If that's the case, I'm like, oh, I'm 10 to the good right now. Let me just hang around here.
But you're like, okay, so let's say it's Austin Dillon who is like right on that line and he's running 15th. And you're going to, he's going to have a good points day and beat several of the guys he's competing against for the championship. You're going to say, oh, well, all or nothing.
Hey, Caleb, I looked it up for you. The average running position for SVG was 24th in that race.
Yeah, and when did that strategy happen?
In stage 2. He was fighting for the free pass in stage 1. You're acting like he was a borderline top 15 car.
He was in stage 1.
I was questioning how good he might have been.
He ran long in stage 1, the very first stop.
And he fought for the free pass.
Yeah, it's because he got put back the 8 ball when you're running 2 seconds slower than the field.
I'm just saying, you play to win the game. I get going off strategy. I just don't think that.
And I'm saying if it's not SVG, then you're not out here saying you play to win the game. You're saying take your points and go home. But
okay, you can't hypotheticalize that it's not the driver that is in the car. But hypothetically, if I had a different racer and he sucked at Darlington or sucked at ovals, I'd probably do the same thing.
Hypothetically, if Jeff Gordon was in that 88 car,
let's talk about that. What would we do if Jeff Gordon was in the car?
Well, we wouldn't have to worry because NASCAR would just add him to the playoffs anyway. So.
I thought you were going to say Alan Gustafson would make him long pit, but that's
no. Alan Gustafson would have him run 17th.
My butt's starting to hurt. Hold on.
Oh, it was doing that 5 minutes ago, buddy.
That one wasn't good, Noah.
Well, Josh and I agree, and
I'm good. I'm glad we have sides of the podcast. Left sides.
It's
right side felt the need to draw a diagram for that. Their fan base a little bit.
Wait, hold on, I got this.
A little bit on the slower end.
There you go.
We'll need a screenshot of that instead of your phone doing the Snapchat. Was there anything else from that race that you guys wanted to draw off of?
Oh,
no.
I do
No,
want to say,
yeah.
God bless Michael Jordan.
Yeah, no, we were going to talk court case too.
Well, I don't give a, well, I mean, I care about that, but I think it's to have a guy like him who obviously with his branding and his involvement in other sports teams, along with just his legacy of, being an athlete, all that, we've seen a lot of guys like him come and invest financially into NASCAR
and go.
But a lot of the times it ends with the financial investment of NASCAR. To see him down on pit road, giving Tyler Reddick, who's about 8 feet shorter than him, giving him a hug and slapping Allmendinger on the butt. And he is truly invested more than just financially in the sport. And we're seeing it with the court case too, that we'll talk about. Him talking about he's prepared to go down with the fire and the flame. So it's nice to see a guy like that who is truly invested in the sport and wants to make it a better place and is involved with the team, is down there, encouraging the drivers, all that stuff too. So I think, for me, not a big basketball fan, I don't care about that, but I can appreciate his legacy and what he's truly doing for NASCAR.
I'll have you know, Jimmy Johnson ran a truck race for Randy Moss, and I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, Connor, back to you.
Noah is our resident trivia guy, so I appreciate that. One of those athletes that has been in the sport and got out. Michael Jordan's here to stay. Wants to I think the whole reason we're on this court case is because of Michael Jordan. They had that text and he sent back and said, I think one of the 2311 owners had wrote that we're gonna do all this fuss over this many millions of dollars, and he said, "Pish posh, I've lost that at the casino," or something along those lines. I think it was push with a PSHH, but I didn't know how to pronounce that. So yeah, that his he had a conversation with Jordan Bianchi and other reporters outside the courtroom, and basically said yeah, we're gonna be in it for a fight. And I think he took a cheap shot from the other side, some comment or something like that, and he smirked it off and said I was ready for him. So I thought that whole thing was cool. I didn't know how much you guys took from the court case, how much you wanted to talk about it and dissect it. We're kind of looking at it from a distance, and we're also talking about stuff that has had no effect yet, and there hasn't really been a ruling on anything.
We're just being a dead horse.
It's hard to. I just encourage people to go watch Jeff Gluck's recap video and Matt Weaver's recap video. They dive deeper into it than I can not care to summarize. But if I just sat here and summarized their videos for 4 minutes for you guys, I'd feel like an asshat. So I'd tell you to go watch theirs. They're both really, really good. Easily on YouTube if you just search their names. So so two things. One, those guys do this full time. They've read the documents and they're in court. I'm in Des Moines.
Yeah. So there's that. And they are very dedicated to the sport as well. So yeah, they're good sources for that. My other thing too is when they were trying to get the other teams to, not sign the agreement.
This came out today, I believe.
What?
Is that right? Is it this thing came out today?
There was a new development today that came out as far as
say what you were going to say first. Then
because this is not from today. So basically there was text conversations from when they were trying to get the teams to kind of hold out and the teams wouldn't hold out. And Michael Jordan basically responded to the text calling the other teams pussies. So it's
demonetization.
This is why I said to keep talking, because I love that text.
I just, he's in it. I mean, it's not just
He called JGR fuckers. Like Michael Jordan was ride or die for this thing, and I respect it.
He's not just there to show up on a Sunday and do a little wave and whatever. Like he is in this for the long haul.
Which and the thing with all of the text message that just the inundation of stuff that came out that day from everybody, there were people that were upset about 2311 side of things because they were saying mean words in a text message about the opposite side in a court case. And then you have the text messages that came out from NASCAR brass. And I think that those are actually, they might not be the most entertaining, but they were the most interesting to me because you had messages with Steve Phelps and Steve O'Donnell and some other people in that chat. And it seems like there's an internal fracturing that as far as NASCAR is concerned, that maybe they don't all see eye to eye on how to proceed from here either, because, you had Phelps and O'Donnell going back and forth about they're not necessarily liking the deal for the teams as much. And Steve O'Donnell went as far as to say that the France family was saying, fuck the teams. We're going to keep this as a tiny redneck 1996 sport, were some of the words that he used. And so that coming out to me was the most interesting part, because not even all of the NASCAR brass is unified in this. And so now, Denny Hamlin said his despise for the France family runs deep in his texts as well that were released. And so very interesting to see where they go from here, because I think this really was not great for NASCAR's image as far as the NASCAR case is concerned.
Stop.
And so that's
Stop.
That's where we were at the other day. NASCAR was hoping that there would be some action with a temporary injunction today. I'm trying to actually find the verbiage real quick, but NASCAR filed a response, or NASCAR had said they wanted to keep 6 charters free through the trial because they were trying to demonstrate a lack of irreparable harm to the race.
They had not been doing that, so the argument was like, why are you doing that if that's...
Yeah, the judge did quite literally say, well, why didn't you just do that already? And so the teams had said they need to be the 6 that they've operated under. They need chartered status to keep drivers and sponsors from invoking, any exit clauses in their contracts. And so NASCAR's trying to keep this from reaching trial in the very end. And I think a lot of things. What?
Do you think so?
I feel like NASCAR is really, really trying to force the teams to settle and race under their terms. And so I think that's what their end goal is. And obviously 2311's goals are and FRM's goals too, are the exact opposite. And so that's why they're going to trial. I just think that NASCAR in particular, a lot of things are going to come out in discovery the further that we get. And
the judge has told both sides along the way, like, you should probably settle this outside of court.
Yes. Yeah. He said, if you feel like you have the best chance of winning, like you're guaranteed to win, I would think again.
Well, and I don't think, I don't think the teams necessarily want to go to court, but I think they are fully open and ready to do so, where NASCAR doesn't necessarily want to do that.
I think at this point they almost have to.
Well, and that's, what Denny teased a month or two ago, if the trial is going to start on December 4th or whatever, and he goes, it'll all come out then, so there's secrets that are being hidden. And initially it almost kind of looked like it was leaning towards NASCAR's side, because there appeared to kind of be some collusion of, the teams trying to put in instances of, we're going to say this so that we can say that this is the situation. I think it's now turned a little bit now towards,
after that fuck the teams thing came out.
So
that's pretty damning. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Looks bad on the fan base.
When the accusation is like, hey, you stabbed me, and it's like, no, I didn't stab you, but then there's literally text from your friend saying, oh my God, I can't believe that he stabbed. Like, it's it's not good when, you know, people on your company are like, oh, this is gonna fuck the teams, and then NASCAR is trying to say, no, we're not trying to fuck the teams.
Well, and then you've got the other teams now, since this has come out. Somebody from within Spire today came out and said, I don't know who I'm dealing with. I need to know who I'm dealing with, because, you know, they're going to say nice things to me, to my face, and then I see stuff like that come out that's being said in private, and it hurts, you know, the relationship there. And Spire's about as close to being NASCAR adjacent as far as their involvement in that team, and so that's pretty damning to come out from them too.
This is from Stephen. I'm going to call it Stephen Toronto. I don't think that's how you pronounce his name. That's Toronto. There's two A's instead of the second O, or first O, but you guys get it. He brought this up from Actions Detrimental. That's Denny Hamlin's podcast. That there's something called Operation Gold Codes, which was described on the show as a, quote, plan to eliminate the teams entirely if they didn't sign the charter agreement. It says not much was explained about it other than Denny Hamlin saying it was not good and unfortunate, but I can't find any record of this having been discussed publicly before. That's about the whole.
Because something like that should never see the light of day in the
public. That sounds kind of like the vertical integration thing that Hamlin's lawyers told him not to tweet, and of course he did tweet after that. That vertical integration was he said VI in whatever that list of things where they were looking at going in like a plan B type of case, and vertical integration was under there. So that's like what Monster Jam has right now, where one company owns all the trucks, all the drivers, all the places to race and everything under the umbrella. And very clearly you don't want that. I think we did a whole show on Monster Jam and how ridiculous everything was about their biggest two days of the year, right? So
I mean, is that not the definition of anti-competitive?
Yeah, it would be very bad.
Well,
I just don't know, like, court-wise, what. I don't know how big any of this would be.
That vertical integration would have to have some legs, I feel like. But that's the kind of stuff that when people say, you know, oh, NASCAR's a monopoly and that's why they're taking them to court. That's the kind of stuff that makes people go, yeah, man, they're a monopoly.
So let me ask you this. So NASCAR owns the chassis, right, that all the teams have now?
Yeah, the ones that are 1/3 sports car, 1/3.
So they belong to NASCAR, right?
The actual chassis do?
That's what I think my understanding.
NASCAR, I believe, they either own or have some kind of ownership stake in all of the single source parts that are provided to the teams.
So would the chassis be under there? Yeah.
That one, yeah. I mean,
that's what I would think. But, okay, so let's say, just in theory, all of a sudden, you know, for whatever reason, NASCAR says, yeah, okay, we want to move towards like a Monster Jam, and, you know, we want to house everything. We're gonna, you know, get rid of the teams and blah 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 blah. The teams lose a large amount of inventory and parts because NASCAR is going to claim them. The teams can't compete at most asphalt tracks, you know.
We'd see like the teams go off and like make their own series.
But what are they going to do?
Car IRL type stuff.
Yeah, you'd go to South Boston. You'd go Florence Speedway. I'm just naming off asphalt late model tracks, which is absolutely your department. I'm not like Hawkeye Downs could get a big race there.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Can't wait for the Cars Tour to be the premier stock.
If that's what happened, and I think we're far too past that bridge for that to be an exit point here. If that ever happened, like I would get you to get Hawkeye Downs on the phone with someone.
Millions of dollars later in upkeep, and I mean it's all.
Oh, you think they need millions of dollars in a mutiny of NASCAR? You think they'd need millions of dollars to come to your track? They'd come there for free.
No, we don't. Dude, the safety that you would need to put on.
Not with that, it would be the teams leaving NASCAR in this hypothetical that didn't happen. They were far too past.
Yeah, well, but that's my whole point. Yeah, we're too far past that. But in my hypothetical, like, let's say that next year NASCAR just wants to turn around and say, yeah, we're going to do our own thing. And, you know, like the teams are out a lot and there's really nothing they can do about that. So, I think that raises big questions to the wheel is tilted very heavily towards NASCAR's side of things, which to a point I get, but yeah, at what point do you kind of draw the line and say, hey, at any point I can just kind of kick you to the curb and all your employees, all of your inventory, it's all kind of screwed.
Your biggest assets, your sponsorships, like everything just ends up under my umbrella because I felt like it. Because you didn't sign my deal, so all of your stuff is now mine. Yeah, thus there is a court case.
Yeah, no, we're gonna see what happens with all that going forward. The case will be heard December 1st. There's I'll try to find it and repost it. There's definitely a timeline out there somewhere that Weaver or Gluck, as one of those two guys, has put out.
It'll be a Charlotte jury.
Yeah, which they're different, I guess.
Yeah.
Fundamentally different. I don't know anything about this.
That's what the judge had said. He said, be prepared for a Charlotte jury versus, New York or California that you guys might be used to. So I don't know exactly what that means as somebody who's never really been to North Carolina like that. So,
I mean, you would think, I didn't know really what to take from that. But I am also kind of surprised that they would go with a Charlotte jury, just because I feel like that pool is going to be pretty tainted with racing fans and, all that.
I don't know where else you'd go for a NASCAR case.
I mean,
I feel like the world of NASCAR should be heard in that.
The United Nations.
Yeah,
I think it's dumb. I think it's dumb as fuck that we have normal citizens act as jury members in the first place. That is one of the most disgusting things about this country.
Okay, well, we can't.
Political discourse on the pod.
It should be in Charlotte.
But what if the jury?
I don't even consider that political. If you had me on the bench for a court case, you'd fucking hate me too. That's the angle I'm taking.
But what if
I don't want to be
the
there.
jury then? What if the jury is all on NASCAR's side?
Well, yeah, then it's even worse.
And it would be like a really statistical outlier of numbers. But yeah, I would then use that for my argument too.
Or, I mean, let's say that, Hendrick Motorsports is very against, what the other teams are doing. And then you've got a Hendrick fan on the jury. And that is why you would want to, kind of keep the unbiased parties out of it.
Speaking of Hendrick, small pivot, but he and Christopher Bell in the last week or so have both come out and said they prefer the 36 race championship format as well.
Yeah, okay. Can I say something about this too?
No.
If you were pissed off on my last take, you're gonna love this one. There's got to be someone out there that really doesn't like that. I even said that. Anyway, can people shut up about the season-long playoff? I'm so tired of it. And I think I've had a rant like this on the show before. My God, I get it. Yeah, I get it. We're not doing that. I wish, kind of wish they would. I don't know. But holy cow, I see 25 tweets every hour about it. And I got to be on my phone for 10 minutes to get to that number.
I think, too, that
you see 25 tweets in an hour, and it only takes
25
you 10
tweets
minutes?
about it should be season long. Look at this 2003 championship. Matt Kenseth was only 387 points ahead with 10 races.
389.
But you get 25 of those in an hour, all in 10 minutes?
Guaranteed. Guaranteed on my For You page. I'll send you screenshots tomorrow. You aren't going to like
I know what
if it takes me 2.5 tweets a minute, I'm reading at Mike Tyson level, just so we're clear.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. with Conor Daly in your car, and it's bouncing up and down pit road.
Like I'm sounding out these tweets if it's taking me 2.5 tweets a minute.
I think we're well past a 36 race format, but I still think we could do very easily. You do your 26 races, you have your 16 drivers, and then do a 10 race playoff. And whoever gets the most points in, those playoffs is your champion.
Instead of doing it by round is what you're saying?
Yeah.
If that was the format this year and you were on the pit box for SVG, what would you have done at Darlington?
That I think brings more opportunity to try to go out and get major points like that.
That's fine. I'll take that as a win for me. I love that.
Because
you're agree on that.
Because you're in a 10 race deal. I mean,
we agree on that.
Connor, cut the feed.
And realistically, like that, then you're not going to win the championship. Like you literally have like no chance.
We can't have loser talk on our team. I'm firing Caleb. Our team we need confidence.
Y'all are so unrealistic with
Oh boy.
We can't admit that we're not going to win it. That's stupid.
My main takeaway, though, the point being me even bringing any of that up was just the fact that this is the first time I feel like publicly more people than just Denny Hamlin are talking about, oh, well, this is what I would do. Like, this is what I think about the playoffs. Like, I feel like it just more so lends itself to the overall discontentment surrounding people's just perceptions of how the champion's crowned. I mean, Logano basically came out and was like, oh, well, you should have just done better. I don't know about his championships, which, I mean, if I were in his position, I'd probably be saying the same thing. But
well, again, I mean, his quote was basically like, this is the system, and he did what the system has asked. So, like,
which I don't disagree with, but yeah, like I said, I just feel like the fact that like Rick Hendrick's able to come out and of all people, somebody who's not very outspoken as far as the inner workings of the sport, and go, yeah, they don't really ask me my opinion on these things, but I just do 36 races. I feel like a lot of people right now at a lot of places are not quite as satisfied with how things are in this sport overall. And
we're 11 years into this system. I don't know.
We are gonna have some shit to talk about in the next 4 months. Like,
oh yeah, there's not gonna be an off season.
Is it 3 September 1 October 3? Yeah, 3 months. My bad. Even better.
Yeah, well, court will take up most of winter, so
yeah, we'll see you guys in February.
I thought like December 1st was like the day.
Well, that's when it starts. I mean, court's not going to be.
Oh, that's like the start of everything.
Yeah, that's
this guy's. You got to see how much I understand court.
They didn't get OJ.
Why my ass would never be involved in a court case in a jury ever.
Connor, if I were being tried for a crime, I'd want you to be on my jury.
Well, thanks. I would absolutely just push you off and make you. I would say he's not guilty for sure.
Thank you. God,
because you're my friend. Like, that's what I would do. Like, yeah. And people act like that doesn't happen ever. Like, you think that's never happened before? Like, they haven't fooled the jury into thinking these two guys couldn't be friends?
I think February is going to be cool because we're going to have the US 500 at Michigan happening the same time as the Daytona 500.
It's going to be at Hawkeye Downs. Snow on the ground.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. See, we were talking about dirt races. Guys, we need a snow race on this schedule.
We're going to have one at Watkins Glen.
The rain tires have tread. You can drive in the snow on them.
I can't wait to see what happens with that. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. Appreciate you all. This has been the Always Race Day podcast. And once again, brought to you by the Wiser Companies. If you're interested at all in becoming a sponsor, hit me up. Very cheap advertising for you. And we'll definitely go to bat for your company. Chris hasn't given me the go ahead to say it, but if you want me to say F these guys, I will throw the F word out at your biggest rival.
If you've got a cool shirt, I'll wear it.
That too. Yeah, this shirt's old Iowa State shirt. It's like hanging down, so I've been trying to pull it up the whole time.
It's a 2019.
Is it 2019? It is.
Yeah,
Good
I
catch.
graduated high school. Good Lord.
Heck yeah. Big one on Saturday. Excited for it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it. And we'll be back with a World 100 Tusky 50 preview live here on Wednesday night with Eric Bridger. So tune in for that. Thanks a ton, guys.